Let's get nuts.
Let's get to humping, everybody. What's happening? All right, welcome to Film Junkie Live. Yeah, that's right. It's Wednesday. It's June 18th. Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. If you want to become a member, we do a members-only stream right after this. So if you want to support the channel, hey, do so. I wouldn't hate it. And then, of course, we got the Patreon as well. So hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are having a good Wednesday. We don't have a ton to talk about, but we have things to talk about, of course, when it comes to DCU news. More promo stuff. 30 minutes of Superman being shown tomorrow at CineEurope. Wow. Crazy. So everybody's going to be treated with that tomorrow. It's going to be at that little panel or presentation or wherever. And then we'll talk about some Fantastic Four, and then 28 years later, as well as Elio coming out this weekend, so we're going to see what the critics say. And then Black Panther. Is T'Challa finally getting recast? Well, possibly. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let's see who's out there. All right. We got Mr. Kenny right here. Hey, what's going on? Your Wednesday went well. It was raining here in Northeast Ohio a lot. Yeah, I hear there's like a lot of storms that are happening back east. Pretty interesting. It's hot as hell over here, so definitely got the air on and everything's fans and all the kind of stuff, so we could use a little rain, you know, over here. Why not? What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you, buddy. We got Dell in the city. Always great to see you too, man. All right. Who else we got? We got Hard-Boiled Eric right here. Inquiring minds want to know what CineEurope has. I know they probably got some things there. That's for damn sure. I haven't really heard much of anything else. I know there's like they're setting things up that are outside when it comes to, you know, when it comes to CineEurope, but you know, haven't really seen too much. But we'll go over some of the things that have been talked about too. I also want to even talk about too. What we're also going to be talking about is David Goyer, David S Goyer. That's right. He had a recent interview with Josh Horowitz. We're actually going to go over a little bit of that as well. Some of the things he had to say because you know David S Goyer. I mean, he is. Let's face it. That guy's written some of our beloved CBMs. You know, starting with Blade, and then of course leading into Batman Begins and Dark Knight and Man of Steel. So he's got some things to say too. We're going to be talking about that. Jacob, what's happening? You know the fucking vibes. Yeah, I'm hoping I know the fucking vibes. Hopefully you're doing good, Jacob. Always great to see you. Evan, what's happening? Oh, you know, it's Wednesday. It's Wine Wednesday. And I have chilled wine. That's right. I know you're not really supposed to chill red wine, but it's hot. And when I went to the store last week to pick up some wine, they didn't have some Pinot Gris, which is obviously the white wines you refrigerate. But you can refrigerate the red wines too. And so it's chilled and it's good. Gotta love Wine Wednesday. Yeah, always good to see you, Dell. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Like I said, I've actually had the house to myself this whole week. Brother Film Junkie, he's been out of town. So I've been enjoying this big house that I moved into by myself. You know what that means? Doing a Barry Keoghan at the end of that one movie, right? Just kidding. Maybe. All right. Versus Seed, what's happening? I thought someone was on my roof just rain though. Yeah, it seems like a lot of storms are happening back east. We could use some of that stormy weather right here. Okay, for the 30 minutes, has anything major really been leaked? Well, it hasn't been shown yet because it's all happening tomorrow. That's the thing. So we're in the clear right now, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of descriptions and plenty of glowing reviews when it comes to it. But yeah, we're definitely going to be talking, you know, everybody's going to be talking about it for sure. So Junkee time. What's going on? D-Man 7, good to see you. Superman cast. Yeah, Philip was in. Yeah, they were there today. And then Barcelona, which is They're going to be in Barcelona tomorrow, I believe. I don't know. I'm trying to keep track. The marketing, again, has been so insane when it comes to Superman. So trying to keep up. What's going on, Axel? Mr. Droga, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Saltburn. That's the movie I was trying to think of. So I should stay off the internet tomorrow? Well, I mean, it's up to you. If you don't want to hear about what's in those first 30 minutes, yeah, probably a smart thing to do. Probably a smart thing to do. You know, I mean, we keep on talking about spoilers, and the closer we get, the crazier it's going to get. The crazier it's going to get. What's going on, Indiana Jake? Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, it's just going to get absolutely crazy. And yeah, there'll be definitely descriptions tomorrow when it comes to that footage. I don't think there's going to be leaked footage. I think they're going to do their, you know, because anytime that they show stuff at CinemaCon over here, I think they kind of like get everybody. I don't know if they lock up people's phones or put them in like those little bags or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be, you know, someone's going to, you know, be ballsy enough to be like, you know, pull out their phone and try to bootleg some of that footage. So, but apparently that's what's happening. So nothing wrong with that, right? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Nothing crazy's happened in the past couple of days. I mean, the only thing that's really been frustrating me is my San Francisco Giants. They, you know, they're going to be playing, in about a half an hour. And they've been, you know, spotlight's been on the Giants because they made a really big trade on Sunday. They lost to the Dodgers, lost the series to the Dodgers, which is a big series, obviously, always when it's the Dodgers. And then the first game with this new player, which is Rafael Devers, who came from Boston, who's a really big bat, and he did pretty well for his first game, fairly well, and they still lost. And I'm just kind of going like, come on, guys, why are we losing here? That's the only thing that's really been frustrating for the past couple of days. So, Sweeney's boobs are apparently in my chat right now too, so that's great. I mean, out of all the fake people to show up in my mentions, Sweeney's boobs, I mean, I guess we can't complain about that, but hey, whatever, it's fine. Holy Lord. Okay. So, let's see how we're going to start here with the tweets. Let's start with this one because, you know, this is pretty funny. Good to see you, Mr. Gonzalez. So sorry for you. You got a giant egomaniac. Yes! Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, that's what I worry about when it comes to Rafael Devers. I've never really liked the guy. And he's got those big chubby cheeks that he chews on. He's chewing tobacco, always spitting. But he's a big bat. So now I gotta, you know, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about there, Mr. Gonzalez. So, yeah. That's all I'm worried about. What's going on for you, Jason? Good to see you too, bud. Ryan, me and your girlfriend are going to Hoenn hiking, and there was a heat warning. So next time, yeah, don't go hiking if there's a heat warning, especially if you're back east and everything. Hey, Dave, currently in a tornado. Jesus, Arkham Knight 99. What's going on back east, guys? Jeez, you guys are getting all the storms. There's like, I haven't looked at any of the weather reports. I mean, it is completely clear and 100 degrees right now. Essentially, no, it's actually 90. It's only in the 90s right now, so it's in the it's dropped down to the early 90s, so that's good. But yeah, you guys are like getting all the crazy weather when it comes to all this. So be safe out there, guys. Everybody back east, hopefully be safe. Hopefully the storms aren't too crazy. But speaking of thunder, Tom Cruise. I mean, apparently, according to Road and Track, who knows if this is actually going to hold some weight? But it almost seems like, hey. You know, Tom Cruise, obviously we love Tom Cruise. We appreciate Tom Cruise and what he did with the Mission Impossible franchise and the fact that he just, for our entertainment, he almost dies, essentially. You know, besides all the Scientology weird stuff, we appreciate and love Tom Cruise. And obviously with a third Top Gun that's possibly going to be happening, there's also another movie that people are wondering, hey, is there ever going to be a sequel to this? And it's almost like that, you know, he saw what Brad Pitt was doing, and obviously Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt have worked together in Interview with the Vampire, which is a great movie. And even recently, when it came to the F1 movie, someone asked Brad Pitt if he'd want to work with Tom Cruise. He said, yeah, absolutely, but I'm not going to hang my ass off a goddamn plane. to work with Tom Cruise. But then it's kind of funny because obviously we got F1 that's coming out next week, which pushes the boundaries when it comes to street racing. And Tom Cruise said, you know what? Hold my non-alcoholic beer. Because he's a Scientologist. They don't drink. There we go. Apparently, according to roadandtrack.com, I don't know how fully official it is, but they are saying that Days of Thunder 2 is officially in the works. Cole Trickle. Is that really going to be happening? Looks like the Days, NASCAR. I'm not an influencer. Jeff Gordon laughs in response to asking me. And then, let's see, of course, it says right here, and then it says, we're streaming, we're Amazon Prime, blah, 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 talk about NASCAR, and then just basically saying that they want to do another, they're trying to do something. I mean, this has been talked about a little bit before, but yeah, I'm just kind of going like, I mean, I don't know if this is actually going to happen. I just was like, oh, that's cool, but I mean, is it really going to happen? I mean, I will say that if Tom Cruise wants to not really put his ass on the line, him being behind a car, like behind the steering wheel, is a lot easier than hanging off a plane or launching yourself off a ramp on a motorcycle to parachute down a canyon. Yeah, might be a little easier for him, but who knows? Who knows? That's what they're kind of hinting at right there. Maybe it won't happen, but hey, we'll see. What's going on, Rhea? Good to see you out there. Do what she says. Smash that like, thumbs up. Thank you, Rhea. You're always it's always great to see you out there. And then, of course, sticking with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise will be getting an honorary Oscar this year. The Academy is giving him the Oscar for his commitment to our filmmaking community, to the theatrical experience, and to the stunts community. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because what did I say? What did I say, guys? I said it, I don't know how many weeks ago or when it was on this very show. I said that the fact that the Academy is now recognizing stunts, they're recognizing that it's going to be a category. I don't know if it's going to be this coming year or is it going to be the following year. I can't remember. But I said, all right, well, just give Tom Cruise the first, Academy Award for that. Do something like that. No. They're going to give him an honorary Oscar. So it's going to be one of those that they give, an iconic actor or actress. So he's going to be receiving that this year. And it's like, yeah, why not? I mean, yeah. Tom Cruise, even though, he's known mainly for running and his stunts, he's still a pretty good actor. Yeah, he might be a little one-noted. But, I mean, then you watch something like Tropic Thunder. You watch something like Magnolia. I mean, the guy can act. He's not so much of a one-noter like, some of those other guys right there. Looking at you, Dwayne Johnson. But hey, the Smashing Machine, hopefully that'll help that out. But hey, so that's pretty cool. And now we got Will Smith in the chat. So that's cool. Crazy. Yeah. All right, what else we have? We got a lot of stuff that I'm already going to be talking about. Oh, this happened too, and this is pretty funny. So I talked about this not too long ago, but you know how Lionsgate had the rights to the Saw movies, to the Saw franchise? Well, now Blumhouse definitely has, they have now officially received the rights to the Saw franchise, which of course Lionsgate will still have a share in it. It's like, I guess the deal was they're still going to get a little portion of it. But Blumhouse, which James Gunn works for now, James Wan, sorry. That happens. James Wan officially, works for. Now they have the rights, and so other future installments, Lionsgate will still get a cut. So that was part of the deal. But I thought this was pretty funny right here because it was like over on, I guess on, the Saw, the official Saw Twitter account posted this right here. And it's just like kind of awesome because there's Lee Whannell and James Wan right there. With, of course, Billy, the puppet, love reconnecting with old colleagues. So it's going to be interesting to see where the Saw franchise goes. But look at those young bucks right there. That was over 20 years ago. That was when the first Saw movie came out in 2003, 2004? So yeah, about 21, 22 years ago right there. Those young, fresh faces. And now those two are making just awesome shit. They're making awesome shit. That's a friendship that will never die, hopefully, because I don't care what anybody says. I thought Wolfman was good. We'll see what happens, and, Lee Winnall has done some great work prior to that, so good stuff. Oh, we got a super chat right here. Let it flash up. There you go, Mr. Arkham Knight 99. I'm fully convinced that these accounts is one person. Which accounts are you talking about? Are you talking about just like these certain accounts, like the the big handles or something like that? It's just like one person. Is that what you're thinking? Probably is. But thank you for the $2 super chat. Much appreciated. Helping out that pirate ship. So, yeah. So, just working a little late, huh? Oh, the celebrity ones. Okay, yeah. You're probably right. Yeah, I think celebrities definitely pay somebody to handle their accounts. Yeah, for sure. I think maybe every now and again it is the actual celebrity, but mainly, because they're so busy, especially like someone like Dwayne Johnson or something like that. Absolutely. They're absolutely doing something like that. Anyways. The Fantastic Four buckets. The popcorn buckets. Now, we've already seen the Galactus one, which apparently is like $80, and it's huge. And yeah, you could fit a ton of popcorn in Galactus's head, for sure. But then we were kind of wondering, okay, what's going to be happening with the rest of the crew of Fantastic Four? And apparently, I don't know, this could be just a joke or something like that. And it seems like it's very much a joke because Reed Richards getting his own popcorn bucket. I just don't know. There's just something about this popcorn bucket that just kind of makes you go, oh, wait. So he's just basically going like, hey, look, Sue. I mean, I'm holding the popcorn bucket with no hands. What the fuck? Whoa. Is that his arm? That's a bad angle right there. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm going to assume that it's his right arm. That's wrapping up that. But whoever shot this angle, I mean, is this real? I mean, I kind of hope it's real. But I'm sure that, whoever shot this image was like going, no. You got to shoot it from right here because guess what? If you shoot it from right here, people are going to be talking about it because that's what's happening right now. We're talking about it and we're going, holy crap. What is happening right there? I mean, I guess every part of him does stretch, huh? I mean, it's got to, right? I mean, Sue Storm is pretty satisfied, right? I mean, okay, so there you go, guys. I mean, it might be real. But it's funny. It's funny. That's the thing. It's like, and then the angle you shoot that from, I mean, literally, it's like, whoa. There we go. You don't call him Mr. Fantastic for nothing. Okay. Whew. Yeah. So a lot of people are like, Jesus Christ, what's happening right there? And we got a new rumor when it comes to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Ooh, are we getting that trailer soon? Not really a trailer, but a teaser. We might be getting a teaser, yes. That is right, because I think they're still filming it right now. I'm pretty sure that they're mostly done, but apparently we might be getting a teaser for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey next month. That's right. The first trailer, well, it's not going to be a trailer, teaser. For Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey will be released in a few weeks alongside the release of Jurassic World Rebirth. It will be narrated by Anne Hathaway, who plays the character of Penelope. A few images will be revealed. Yes, that's why it's actually a teaser. And of course, this is just a really cool looking poster right here, but of course it's not real. So yeah, with Jurassic World, we actually might get a first glimpse at Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Just a little teaser. Couple of shots, narration, probably only about 20, 30 seconds. Hey, that's good. Put it right in front of Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm there. I will be there already, so sweet. What's going on? The Sweet Science and Violence. Good to see you. That's quite a name right there. Mallrats joke. Thank you, D-Man7. Yes. Okay. See, we got a Mallrats lover in here. You know what? I watched Mallrats over the weekend too. I saw it. I was on Amazon Prime and I saw it there, and I'm like, I haven't watched Mallrats in forever. My favorite Kevin Smith movie. I love Mallrats. I've seen it so many times. Love Mallrats. You know what I also love too is Ben Affleck's Batman, and we got some art right here from Gregory Kovalev, right, showing Batfleck in that utility suit? What do they call that? The utility suit, whatever suit. The second bat suit that we got in Justice League, which looked pretty cool. Extra padding. Did they call it the utility? What do they call that? What was this called? I forgot what this suit was actually called, but it was like everything was reinforced, obviously. A lot more padding, but just cool art right here because, Ben Affleck's Batman, he's just the big beast of a Batman, and I thought this just looked really sweet, so I thought I'd share it. I can only imagine how heavy that suit was because, the BVS suit was, heavy. I'm sure the Justice League standard suit was just as heavy, but that suit seemed tactical. Thank you, Axel. It was the tactical suit. I'm sure that suit was probably 10 pounds heavier. It just looked like it was. Yeah, the tactical suit. Guess what, guys? Okay. Breaking news, guys. All right? I'm sure this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Kevin Feige just confirmed it. I'm just like, whoa, mind blown, because I'm sure nobody suspected this. This is breaking news right here, guys. I'm telling you. I got. Let's see. I'm gonna hit. What do I have? Oh, breaking news. It's absolute breaking news. This is insane. I can't believe this is this. I can't believe that Kevin Feige actually said this. But Jesus Christ. Kevin Feige says the events of Fantastic Four will lead directly into Avengers Doomsday. What? Jesus. Yeah, we know. We know. Yeah, we saw the end of Thunderbolts. So, yeah, we knew that. But thanks. Thanks for giving us that breaking news there, Kevin Feige. I think we understood that. We did. Especially since, Fantastic Four is coming out this year, and then we're not getting another Marvel Studios movie until Avengers Doomsday. I think we all kind of got that. Hopefully they got the script done. I just thought that was funny. When I saw that, and MCU, the direct, they were just like, whoa, Kevin Feige says the event. Oh, yeah, we know. Wow. Put the fries in the bag. No, don't make me bust out a Josh Block impression. Anyways, good to see you, Ben. Did you put a Y at the end? Real anarchy? No, wait, no, that was always like that. I don't know why I thought that was different. Anyways, that's it. Wait, Spider-Man is next if Doomsday got delayed. Oh, yeah, you're right. There is, Spider-Man is the next movie because that's supposed to come out next summer. Okay, so I was, yeah. Thanks for spoiling Thunderbolts, Dave. That's already out there, Ryan. Come on. But yeah, can you do Carl Weezer? I don't even know who that is. Carl Weezer? Okay, so that's pretty much it. So yeah, not much when it comes to the tweets. Didn't do much when it comes to tweeting, So it's been kind of slow for the past couple of days. Yeah, I know. I spoiled Thunderbolts. God. I know you're kidding, Ryan. Anyways. All right. Let's go ahead and start talking about some DCU news. Yeah, technically I spoiled, Thunderbolts. But not as many people saw Thunderbolts as, sadly. That was so weird. Thunderbolts, the Thunderbolts was weird because, people were just flat out buzzing about it. And, of course, doing that whole thing like, hey, the MCU's back. The MCU's back. I kept seeing that. Which, of course, they're going to say that again after Fantastic Four comes out. The MCU's back. They're going to absolutely say that again. They said it last year with Deadpool and Wolverine. They said it with Thunderbolts. People are going to say it again when it comes to Fantastic Four. I was kind of like, yep, Thunderbolts was fine. I wasn't like glowing about it as much as other people. Like I kind of just walked out like, yeah, it's fine, but I wasn't as thrilled about it. And there's so many people in it, and it seemed like, oh wow, this is getting good word of mouth, which I thought cool. But then it wasn't the good word of mouth that a lot of people were making it seem to be, because it ended up not even making as much as Captain America, right? Or did it make just a little bit more? I don't know. But I mean, but it was still a different type of, movie, which was good. It's a different kind of, a different style of MCU movie. Okay. And let's see. I forgot to show this. So when it comes to DCU news, they did kind of do. I forgot to show this right here. This is courtesy of Frame Store. Oh, did you? Were you not kidding, Ryan? No, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, sorry about that. But it happens. But did you guys see this right here when it came to Ozu? James Gunn's dog, and then turning him into crypto. I mean, there it is. Look at that. It's pretty cool how they did that right there. I mean, yeah. Crypto. Whoop, right there. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think that actually showed up on Monday, and I completely forgot to show you guys that if you didn't see it. If you did not see it. And let's see. I'm going to talk about that. We did get the trailer for The Sandman Season 2 for anybody who's excited for that. That's coming out on July 3rd. Yeah, that shows up on July 3rd. Which, that's going to be the last season because, what's his name is kind of in trouble. And that, yeah, I don't know. But I think the Sandman series, the first season, was absolutely fantastic. For sure. And we'll talk about it in a little bit. And then, of course, we have so many promos. And this is what I'm loving. I'm loving this about Superman is the fact that the marketing has been it's been pretty stellar. They know. They're trying to really just go, all right, we got to post everywhere on all platforms. And, of course, when we do these promo videos, we got to make it into the portrait mode because everybody's looking at their phones. Everybody's looking at feeds, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels. Everybody's just doing that. They don't want to tilt their phone like this. What? Seems to be nowadays when it comes to social media, when it comes to YouTube, a lot of people are watching it on their TVs, which is good, which is what I do all day. I watch podcasts or, have them on in the background or whatever, and I'll watch other videos too, and I watch it on my TV. But of course, you're scrolling at night or just randomly scrolling. It's TikTok, it's Instagram Reels, it's whatever. But they had a bald off. That's right, guys. They had a bald off.
Anthony, what do you think the secret to bald acting is?
The secret to bald acting is just giving them a little bit of that.
There you go.
It's a bald off bet. Skyler, Nathan, whoever wins gets a role in the sequel to Superman, and the two people that lose will be kicked out of the DCU forever.
You are out.
3, 2, 1, go!
Bald.
Anthony, who's a favorite?
I gotta say, Beck does have a leg up.
Nick doesn't seem to understand that even though you're bald, you still have ears. That's a negative.
Everybody has different ears, oh my God.
I can't hear anything.
Here comes the scissors.
Oh, hang on, one pair of scissors. Go as
Okay.
fast as you can.
Make it look more like he has an ear.
We don't have glue. We don't have makeup. What do you want from me?
Who has the scissors?
I think we're gonna win.
Give them some dome, get them excited.
You guys all did a great job.
All right, done.
It looks like a mouse run over by a car.
You give me nothing to work with.
Positive. This is Nathan Fillion right here.
Let's check out Skyler.
Skylar came in with so much more luscious lock.
Yeah.
And this is where it ended up.
There's one more, so.
He's a pretty good looking bald man.
Pretty good, right? I just gotta be Lex Luthor.
The winner of this bald off has got to be... Beck.
Yeah!
Beck won.
Our Superman!
He's back.
He's back. Yeah, Beck Bennett. You're not gonna. You know what? You're onto something there, Indiana Jake. He does look like a poor man's RDJ. Like when I looked over and I saw your comment, I looked at his face and went, "Holy shit!" He does. Good job. Good job pointing that out. But yeah, so they had a bald off when it came to that. James Gunn and Matt Reeves. So a lot of people are just kind of wondering what this relationship is like and what is going on with Matt Reeves. There's been information out there that the Batman 2 script has been done for a bit and they're just kind of waiting for Superman to come out before anything really gets announced, which I would not be surprised if that was the case. Just saying, would not be surprised if we finally hear about the Batman Part 2 script. I don't know. There's a lot of things when it comes to that. But James Gunn he did talk about how, like, when it comes to him and Matt Reeves, and then, of course, when it comes to the DCU Batman and then his Batman, which, of course, they are staying separate. We are not bringing Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU. It's not happening. It's not happening. There's always a chance, but it's not happening. But he did say this right here that I wanted to bring up. James Gunn says there's no agreement between him and Matt Reeves where they can't use the same Batman villains. Both the Crime Saga and the DCU are a part of DC Studios. So if, of course, take everything into account, but there's no die-hard rule. So there you go. So a lot of people are kind of going like, is Matt Reeves going to be using Clayface in his sequel? But wait, we got a Clayface movie over here. What's happening? But then we even found out, too, that we're, obviously talking about the Clayface movie when it comes to the actors going to be playing Clayface. Matt Reeves had a hand in casting, he helped in casting the Clayface actor when it came to that. So there you go. So they could share. They could share. It's fine. They probably prefer not to share, but hey. And we got another behind-the-scenes image of, this is, of course, our engineer right here, Maria Gabriela da Feria, and then, of course, Sarah Sampaio, who, of course, plays Miss Taskmaster. And we got an image of right here. Look at them. Obviously, on the physical set, that is the entrance to the Fortress of Solitude. And she's just standing there doing a nice little pose. And her costume, which, she looks really good, obviously. She got super fit for that role. If you've seen her images that she posted, those are nice. They're nice. They're nice. They're definitely nice. And what else we got? We got this right here. This was pretty good, too. Again, this is what you got to do, especially with a big movie like Superman. You got to do these little promos when it comes to social media.
Majesty, Paolo is exhausted because Majesty, only Paolo, can take this and give you
a princess.
I mean, they're leaning into it. They're leaning into it. And again, look at how Nicholas Hoult is looking down at David Corenswet. He's all, look at that beautiful creature. And then he smiled. Oh, look at that. Again, Superman, I will say this, and I've ran this by some of my female friends, because, my female friends, but the female friends that I have, they're all about Cavill. They're about Cavill, And they're kind of going like, yeah, the new Superman, I don't know about that guy. But then I showed what David Corenswet looks like with a little bit of a beard, and they're like, yeah, he looks so much better with a beard. It's like, yeah, why can't we have Superman with a beard? When is that going to be? Is that going to be the next version of Superman, like 10 years from now? Whoever's the next Superman, it's like, hey, just give him a beard. Give him a little bit of stubble. I mean, Zach kind of did that with Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman had a little bit of like a 5 o'clock shadow, as opposed to like the normal Batman being super clean shaven. He had a little bit of like stubble going, a little 5 o'clock shadow, get a little ruggedness in there. Just saying, I think it's time for Superman to have a little facial hair. But then again, I don't know. People would be like, well, wait a minute. You have facial hair, same face. It probably wouldn't work, between Clark Kent and... But at the same time, in the 90s, remember, like, they gave Superman long hair. Remember when they gave Superman long hair in the 90s? And it was like, so basically when he was Clark Kent, he put it in a ponytail. But when he was Superman, he had the hair, just going all over the place. So, yeah, that video blew up all online. And then another video, we got Aaron Pierre. So we got another video right here from Aaron Pierre. So this is pretty interesting when it comes to Aaron Pierre, obviously our Jon Stewart in the DCU. This video was posted by Aaron Pierre, and it's kind of crazy because I don't think anybody knew about this. And this shows you the dedication that Aaron Pierre had when it come to getting cast as Jon Stewart in the DCU for Lanterns. But apparently he had an injury. He had an injury before he was cast as Jon Stewart. That's right. He had an injury. So check this out. Check this video that he posted right here. Get it!
I believe that God has blessed me with the opportunity to exist. I want to see when it gets dark for me, and then I want to see what's beyond that darkness. I'm never scared of that. Prior to my tendon separating from the bone and my bicep more or less retracting to my shoulder, I was probably in the best shape of my life. And I remember asking God why this has happened. And then I realized that actually there was a reason for it. All of that time that I was spending trying to rebuild, I feel like he was keeping me in a locked-in frame of mind. I decided that this was an opportunity for me to become better than I'd ever been before.
Beast! Beast! So yeah, he tore his bicep just right off the bone. He fucking injured himself. This was a month before he got cast as Jon Stewart. So he had some time to recover. But Jesus Christ, ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. When I read that, I remember going, ah. But then, you know, he didn't just like freak out and be like, oh, my career's, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this, blah, blah, blah. No, he reached in, he reached out and within and basically was like, okay, this is gonna test me and let's see you do it. And obviously the guy's in incredible shape. Jesus Christ. But yeah, pretty damn crazy, man. I'm telling you. That just shows you that dedication right there. It's just absolute dedication. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right, so we got another thing right here too. Well, we got another image which I used in the thumbnail because we got a little promo. James Gunn. Wait, James Gunn posted this. Hold on, let me pull up James Gunn's tweet right here. And brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Yeah, he's, you know, Lanterns is going to be something pretty special. Even if, like, not everybody, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be, like, Superman's going to be divisive for sure. I think most people might, you know, are going to like it. But I think Lanterns is going to be something pretty damn special. It just seems like what they're doing with that is just going to be absolutely insane. All right. What has James Gunn been posting? He posting all that stuff. Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. But he posted this right here. Does Lex Luthor have just, you know, is he obsessed with kryptonite? Because he has a background, apparently, that is kryptonite? What is that? So, yeah, there's Nicholas Hoult right there. I don't know if he's, I don't think he's taking a selfie. I think probably Gunn is taking a picture of that, but we got this green background, and I'm just kind of going, okay, so is that just like an up-close look at kryptonite or whatever? Or maybe it's a kryptonite bath that he wants to stick Superman in? He's like, go ahead, get in there, Soups. Want to get in there? You know, it's heated, it's bubbly. So he posted that. He said Lex in his office. So he's got like a kryptonite background. That's pretty insane. I mean, this Lex Luthor is just going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be absolutely insane. And then, of course, speaking of Manila in Bridgetown, check this out. I swear, what they can do right now, with drones is absolutely insane. So, yeah, they're playing the John Williams score, so I don't want to get copyright. But look at this. So this is what was happening. I think this happened yesterday. But yeah, again, what they could do with drones nowadays is absolutely insane. So obviously Superman and Crypto And then, of course, the logo right there. This was by Chris, Everything to Me. Superman. Only in cinemas. July 9th, yeah. See, look at that. Just what the F? And then, of course, they have that statue right there that we've seen before. Again, the marketing. I mean, they said that they could spend upwards to $200 million. It seems like they are. Holy Lord. And then we got David Corenswet. David Corenswet's going to grace the cover of People magazine on June 30th, so in a couple of weeks at the end of the month. And then when I first saw this, because I saw it this morning when I woke up, because it got posted pretty early, I thought it said, you know, I thought David Corenswet was deemed the sexiest man of the year. You know how, I think, isn't it People magazine that does the sexiest man of the year, right? And I thought, what the fuck? Is David Corenswet already he's already deemed like the sexiest man of the year? I mean, Jesus Christ, we haven't even seen Superman yet. He's a fresh face. Are they spending that marketing budget on that? No. It just threw me off because the cover said, meet the sexy new Superman. And I was like, oh, okay. I had to make sure to reread it right there. But yeah, there's David Corenswet, who's going to be on the cover of People magazine. Handsome, humble, and ready to soar as the Man of Steel, Philly native David Corenswet opens up about life as a new dad and the thrill of landing the lead in summer's Greatest Escape. Greatest Escape. So there is again, and then of course we have, there is an interview. Let's see. There was like did I post that? There was a little interview, and I don't know if you've seen what he looks like lately, but Corenswet does not have that beautiful hair that he's rocking usually. He's got a buzz cut, so I'm guessing whatever next movie he's doing, but whatever he's doing, but he's got a buzz cut now. He's got a buzz cut. So let's listen to him when he talks about the reaction of being cast as Superman.
Wife's reaction when you were cast.
I tried to express to her in the sort of simplest terms.
Talking to his wife.
I'm going to play Superman. And it's the kind of sentence that you can't, it's hard, you don't really know how to say it because you don't quite believe it's true. It sounds ridiculous to say out loud. Even now it sounds ridiculous to say out loud. And I knew that she was going to be very excited and very proud of me. I think she felt from when we did she helped me make my first self-tape for the part, and she felt at that point that I should get the part. I didn't feel at that point. I thought she was crazy, but she felt it from the beginning. So if anything, I knew that she was going to be even more excited than I was.
Look at that. It's a good woman right there. Sounds like he got a good one. Sounds like he got a good one indeed. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. When you're cast as Superman, man, all your other roles, you got to like have facial hair, buzz cut. You got to make sure you don't look like Superman. You got to make sure you don't look like Superman for sure. So that was him like talking about that. And then, of course, he talks about Christopher Reeve. And they both have gone to Juilliard. Corenswet's also a Juilliard actor, too.
I think while I was at school, he was somebody who we talked about quite a lot as an alumni who was to be sort of admired and looked up to. And his relationship with Robin Williams while they were at school was very much a piece of Juilliard lore that we learned about and talked about. Long before I was auditioning for the role, I just happened to stumble on some of the early interviews that Chris Reeve gave about playing Superman, and I probably at that time remarked on the similarity I felt with him in sort of his perspective on the business and his way of talking about it. He was sort of wonderfully candid while still being earnest and open-hearted, but he never felt like he was being a politician or a diplomat. You always felt like he was giving a real answer, and he also had a graciousness, a grace about the trade-offs of playing the role, especially at that time when he did two sort of bold things. One was to leave the theater to go play Superman on the screen, which at that time would have been and was considered sort of selling out, especially for a classically trained actor. And also then playing this role where it's him in his tights and a cape.
This country.
Tights and a cape. And yeah, thank you, Del. I remember hearing about that too. But Del in the chat said that he's actually going to be playing a baseball player called named John Tuggle, who died of cancer, and he was called Mr. Irrelevant. I remember hearing about that, and I'm like, yeah, I forgot about that, which, hey, I'm all about baseball movies. You know, I love baseball, so yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So that's likely why he's, but again, like I said, now that he's Superman, I mean, this is the thing that, you know, even every Superman actor has to like kind of look at it like that, because I mean, when I love the movie Man from U.N.C.L.E., but when I see Cavill, who looks, you know, he's clean shaven, he's got the hair that looks he just looks like Superman in a suit. It's hard not to think like that. So that's why, like, when you see him in other roles where he's got like a big beard, or even if he's got like a buzz cut or his hair looks different, I think that's probably one of the reasons why he got that really weird hair in that one fucking Matthew Vaughn movie that I did not watch, which I still need to watch. I forgot what it was called, but you know, it's like you have to like, hey, he looks too much like Superman. That's the bad part about. I think that could be part of the Superman curse, is the fact that you look so much like Superman that you really gotta, other roles, you have to change it up, or else people are just gonna be like, that's fucking Superman. I can't get that out of my head that that's Superman. Now we got David Corenswet talking about getting into that costume, that suit, for the first time. And what's interesting is, as much as he was hoping it was going to be a moment where he was going to be like, oh my God, I am now Superman, he didn't quite have that reaction. No, he did not have that reaction when he put on the suit, because these suits, they're pretty damn tight. They're tight and unforgiving.
The first time, I hadn't thought about this before. You hear actors who play superheroes talking about squeezing into the suits. I got kind of claustrophobic in the suit the first time, just like being constricted in all those places at the same time. The fact that it takes a few minutes to get out of it, sort of, there's no like quick release. It was an intense experience, and not this amazing, glorious, you know, becoming the character.
I'm just glad he's candid.
It was in pieces. The S wasn't even on yet. It was really just about the blue tights. It was quite snug because they had made it to my proportions when I screen tested, where I weighed about 195 pounds. And when I walked in for my first costume fitting, I weighed about 235, 240 pounds. A lot of work goes into making those suits. They don't work like regular clothes, and they're not built like regular clothes, and they need to fit and function in a way that's just, again, kind of impossible. They shouldn't be able to work the way they do. There's no zipper. There are lots of zippers, but there's no single zipper that allows me to go to the bathroom.
There's never a zipper.
Which you would think would be quite straightforward, but nothing is straightforward about these things. I mean, we talked about it and we tried, and it was not worth the costs that came with it. But the suit and I sort of grew together to the point where, when it did kind of all come together in the last fitting before I stepped out on set for the first time, it felt familiar, and it didn't feel like a new thing for me. It felt like my suit, which was amazing. And then when I walked out on set, everybody else saw it for the first time. Nobody had been in it, you know, it was just me and the costume folks in the fitting. So I still got that experience of sort of walking out in the suit for the first time.
There's never a zipper. Why do they never have a proper zipper? It's always about, how do you pee? How do you pee? You know? I mean, you think in 2025 they would figure it out by now. You'd think that. You would think they would be able to figure it out, but they just can't seem to figure out how to properly go, okay, how can we get in and out of the suit pretty quickly, and how can the actor go to the bathroom? I mean, the bat suits have always been notorious as just being like the most uncomfortable thing you'll ever put on. And it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy, because I was kind of wondering about that too when it came to the new Superman costume, because it does seem like it's easier to maneuver. It's probably, he said it took like a few minutes just to get out of it. I remember hearing that, I think like when it came to Cavill suit, even that suit, I think it said it took about 10-15 minutes to get properly in and out of even that costume. And you wouldn't think that, but it's so skin tight, and then there's just there's different pieces. Obviously, when it comes to a batsuit, it's like a half an hour. It's like 25 minutes to a half an hour to try to get in and out of that. But every actor always says, like, make sure you can properly, take a piss. But it's just, you can't even do that with this Superman costume. It's 2025. There's been Superman. I mean, I'm sure, like, when it came to Christopher Reeve's Superman costume, that was probably a lot easier. But then maybe not, because who knows? Maybe he had to, like, get completely out of it. I mean, imagine having to, like, really pee. You have to, like, really pee, like, so badly that... And you have to just like, get out. Especially those hot shoots in Cleveland during the summer. Remember when we saw that? I mean, last summer they were shooting in Cleveland and it was hot. I mean, I imagine he was drinking a lot of water. I mean, my God. I mean, but how you can't just hide a zipper like underneath the chones where, I don't know. You just can't have like, that built-in little, I don't know. I'm just, apparently you can't do that, but. Like I said, it wasn't like the crazy, at first it was a little claustrophobic and all, we always hear about that too. So anyway, so there was that. So that was all the Corenswet interview. And then yes, guys, yes. We got a clip. We got a 30-second clip from Superman that, of course, is the interview scene between Lois and Clark. And this was on the Kelly Clarkson show, right? Kelly Clarkson show. I was like, wait, was it on that? Yes, it was. So obviously Rachel Brosnahan was on there. So let's check this out real quick.
You've gotten a lot of heat on social media lately.
I don't read that stuff. Superman doesn't have time for selfies.
Third person. You're referring to yourself in third person now?
No, it's just a thing I came up with that I thought I'd try to work into the next interview.
This is on the record, Superman.
Okay, well, not the part where I said that.
Yes, that part.
No, that part was an aside. That was off the record.
You have to say off the record beforehand, not after.
Why are you being like this?
It's fine. I won't write that you spend your spare time trying to think up sound bites, which are terrible, by the way.
Jeez. Okay, so Lois is just... Yeah, Lois is... I mean, yeah. She might end up being the best Lois, that's for damn sure. I don't know. She is just not holding back. She is not holding back, and Clark is just like, what the hell? Man, he's so freaking in love with this woman, but what the hell is she doing? She is busting his balls to the point where, like, he's like trying to test out things where it's like he has to be this other persona, and she was like, did you just do the third person thing? What are you doing? What the hell? That's lame. Don't do that. So it's like, all right. I can't wait to see that entire sequence because that's supposed to be 10 minutes long. That entire scene is supposed to be 10 minutes long. And that might be the best scene in the movie, in my opinion, because I just love these kind of interactions when you have like these characters that we've known for so long, when they have like these intimate moments. I love those moments the most. Even though I love the action-y stuff and everything, sure, but I just love these kind of intimate moments a lot too, so I'm just like going, fuck, she is not holding back, which good on her. She shouldn't hold back. She should not. And then there's some Peter Safran quotes, which I'm like, Peter Safran, yeah, he says a lot of good things and whatever, so, but it was weird. So let's see. What else we got? Well, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting right here. Nathan Fillion decided to, what the fuck, kind of drop something where people are kind of going, huh? And this has to do with a character that is within the Superman lore, a villain. And, if you've watched DC Fanimated, we've talked about, because he's shown up in 2 episodes when it comes to Superman the Animated Series. But yeah, Nathan Fillion teases DCU Mr. Mxyzptlk. That's right. I think I said that right. Mxyzptlk. It's giant monsters, alien beings, interdimensional imps. There's things happening that are reality for this world that we're about to enter. Interdimensional imps. He's going to show up. It's fucking James Gunn. Of course he's going to have Mxyzptlk. Come on. Why wouldn't he? That's a character right up James Gunn's alley. I'm just going, yeah, that makes sense, especially if we're doing like a pocket universe thing, portals and whatever. Yeah, I would not be surprised. But the question is, who is going to be, maybe that's who Bradley Cooper is actually going to be playing. He's not playing Jor-El. He's actually playing Mrs. Pitalik. Huh? Could be. Mr. Mixel Piddledick? Is that what he said? Jesus. Oh, and then, of course, we have this right here. Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult. Just, yeah. You don't feel sorry for him you do feel sorry for him for not getting the Batman role and then not getting Superman, but then he's going to probably just be playing a Lex Luthor that's just going to be absolutely insane.
Lex is driven and hardworking.
You're 5 o'clock.
He's kind of a master puppeteer, a conductor in many ways, to manipulate someone who is clearly physically more gifted.
Have fun, everybody. All right, let's go live.
What's fun about playing a villain is breaking them apart and going, well, actually, you make a few key twists in your brain wiring, and then you realize that it makes complete sense where they're coming from.
He's back.
Woo! Yeah, he's going to be a good Lex. He's going to be a damn good Lex. He's going to be a damn good Lex. Can't wait to see that. Okay. What? Okay. Never mind. I thought I saw something on my feed. I was like, nope. Wait. What? What? All right. So, let's see. So, yeah. So, we got CineEurope that's happening. So CineEurope is currently happening right now, and Superman's going to be there, Barcelona, and according to Deadline, yes, in fact, Superman flies into Barcelona with 30 minutes of footage during Warner Brothers' CineEurope presentation. In the first CineEurope outing since adding international to his purview, Warner Brothers president of global theatrical distribution, Jeff Goldstein, introduced the studio show today, capping off with 30 minutes of DC's July tentpole Superman starring David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult. The start of the footage was similar to what an exhibition saw at... so I guess this already did happen. I thought this was happening tomorrow, but apparently not. Why did I get that wrong? But went well. Further, an exclusive reveal today. It was teed up first by a local musician playing the iconic theme on stage with the electric guitar, and then in a video from DC chiefs Peter Safran and Gunn. The duo wasn't here in person as a team. They're in the Philippines right now. So, interesting. So they talked about everything like that, but did we actually get 30 minutes of footage? But that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. See, a lot of the stuff when it comes to that, I'm like, okay, the first 30 minutes of Superman was screened today at CineEurope. Okay, so it was today. See, I screwed that up. Sorry, guys. I thought it was tomorrow, but no. They're in the Philippines today, but apparently they also, at CineEurope, they showed that. But why? Okay, so that's why I was getting confused by that. All right, so I was really confused by that because I thought, oh, that's happening tomorrow because they're in the Philippines today. And then, yeah, my mistake, guys, my mistake. But I thought, like, for some reason that was happening tomorrow and then there was going to be there. But there has not been any people talking about that. Rumor has it Crypto stole the show. It was amazing. Man of Steel has nothing on this movie. I'm just looking at some of the responses. My city wasn't there. Why would someone want to watch the first 30 minutes of this movie? Yeah, see, that's the thing. I was like, wow. So nobody's talking. I would have assumed that there would have been descriptions everywhere. That's why I thought it was tomorrow. So I'm completely out. Yeah, time zones and everything. So what in the F? Yeah. So I was wrong. I thought it was tomorrow, but apparently it was today. But then, of course, today, my today is different from their today. So I don't know. I'm surprised that there has not been descriptions. I have not seen anything where there's descriptions. What in the F? All right. My bad. But yeah, first 30 minutes apparently were shown today. So, okay, so when it comes to the first 30 minutes, I mean, I'm assuming that it's from what we heard from James Gunn was the fact that it's going to be Superman in a situation where he was all bloodied and he lands. I don't know if that's like the beginning, the absolute beginning, and we just don't know exactly, or who was he fighting? Was it the kaiju that he was fighting? No, probably not, because his suit wasn't torched like we see. That's what I'm kind of curious, because James Gunn basically confirmed that, yes, the beginning was Crypto dragging him to the Fortress of Solitude, and that's probably what we're going to be seeing for the first 30 minutes, but why is he effed up like that? That's the curious thing. So, yeah, the Philippines, 12 hours, they're 13 hours ahead. But I'm like going, okay, but what about CineEurope here? What is happening? I really thought it was tomorrow. That was my bad, not doing my due diligence right there and not fully reading everything. That's what you got to do, guys. But sometimes I just don't do that. Whoops. So, I don't know. So, 30 minutes of footage. I'm just kind of wondering, like, why are... I'm surprised that there has not been descriptions. There has not been descriptions. But, you know, when it comes to what's happening right now, I mean, is it Manila or Manila? Manila? Well, in the Philippines, we have a Superman that is shown up. Look at, I mean, it doesn't even look like Superman. That is undercover Superman right there. Buzz cut, sunglasses, beard. I mean, he's got a widow's peak. Do you notice that? David Corenswet has that widow's peak. You don't really notice it when he's got the Superman hair, but he's got a widow's peak. He's got that, you know, kind of a buzz cut. So he's got a little bit of a widow's peak going on. Manila. That's what it is. Manila, like the cookie, right? Isn't there a cookie called Manila's? Manila, that's what it is. Manila. Okay. So the first 30 minutes, yes, the first 30 minutes have been shown, but nobody's talking about it. That's what's so interesting. So very interesting. Did Henry also he also has a widow's peak too? Yeah, because when you saw him with the buzz cut, it also goes to a point. So I guess if you want to be Superman, you got to have a widow's peak. Tomato. Yeah, pretty much. You know, I say things wrong all the time, but yes. So the first 30 minutes, and I'm just kind of going, okay, nobody's talking about the first, what was shown, huh? Interesting. So they kept that shit under wraps. So I'm guessing it was just there was no fans there. Just like how at CinemaCon, there's no like fans. So, and there's no like journalists or anything that's going to describe that. It was mainly for like, hey, you know, this is for, you know, the people, you know, distributors and whatever the hell. Hey, look at our Superman movie. So that's probably mainly what it was. So it's a combo of receding hair too. Oh yeah, they've always talked about how Cavill's had like a little bit of a receding hairline, but technology nowadays can help with that, right? Now let's get over to Clayface. Clayface, we have our actor. When it comes to, I guess it's going to be Baslow? Or is it going to be Matt Hagen? I don't know. It hasn't been really confirmed yet, but I apparently from what I heard, it actually is going to be Matt Hagen. So it's going to be completely based off of Feet of Clay when it comes to Batman the Animated Series. But here is our actor. And boy, does this guy have cheekbones. Yes, 100%. Tom Reese Harris, I'm probably saying his name wrong too, lands Clayface role in DC Studios movie directed by James Watkins. So we got our guy, the actor from the Uma Thurman starring Apple TV series Suspicion, and he's also been in something called The Return. He was in Candor, Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. So he's been there for a little bit. But that's the dude right there. And let's see, James Gunn did post as well to confirm it, which is great. Post. After a long, incredibly exhaustive search, we finally have our DCU Clayface in Tom Reese Harris. Both Matt Reeves and I were just blown away by this guy and can't wait for you to see this film directed by James Watkins and written by Mike Flanagan. And what did James Gunn also confirm? Because there was rumors out there, specifically from a stupid scooper that I can't stand, who said, oh yeah, it's getting a complete rewrite. They're totally rewriting Flanagan's fucking script. No, James Gunn answered somebody and said, no, that's not true. It's like, yeah, there's going to be a shooting script that might be tweaked, but we greenlit Mike Flanagan's script, because you don't fuck with Mike Flanagan's script. You just don't. And that's what we were kind of worried about when we heard that they brought in another writer to rewrite. I was like, that's blasphemous. Rewriting a script from Mike Flanagan? Are you fucking kidding me? No, you don't do that. And James Gunn confirmed that. He confirmed that over the weekend, responding to people, and I'm like, thank God, Jesus Christ. That's kind of stuff that I love, that he's very vocal about and debunking stuff like that. That's what I love. But yeah, I haven't seen this dude, but the dude's got some fucking cheekbones. I was like, Jesus, holy shit, his cheekbones. My God. Now let's talk about David Goyer a little bit while we're still on the DC talk right here. Let's talk about David Goyer. First off, one of the things that was being shown around is the fact that David Goyer has seen the Superman trailers, and he's loved the Superman trailers. And he said, yes, it's nothing like Man of Steel, which of course he was a writer on. And he goes, yeah, I would have never considered using crypto, which, yes, can you imagine in that universe a flying dog with a cape? No, you can't imagine that. You know, everybody always says, like, well, Zack Snyder's crypto would have a machine gun, which, you know, it's a funny joke. It's definitely a funny joke. But yeah, when he sees crypto in those trailers, he has like a big smile on his face. So it's like, oh yeah, cool, David Goyer. And then naturally, there's obviously some of the loud side of the fandom, which of course was like, David Goyer, how dare you say that? But let's kind of go through some of this, on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. I wanted to kind of talk about some things and just like show you guys some of the things that he was actually talking about. We got that. All right. So let's kind of go over something. So we won't go over it all, but watch the whole thing. It's like 45 minutes long.
Alluded to this a little bit. I want to give folks that weren't maybe around or aware at the time a little context of where everybody was at the time. So Chris, sure. You mentioned, right, has Memento. He's just coming off of Insomnia, which is kind of his first big studio film. Does fine, but then he's given the keys to Batman. We're a few years removed from Batman and Robin, which kind of like over-indexed on kind of the pop
goofy
art.
Adam West Batman.
Right.
Yep.
You're in the throes of your
correct
Blade
on that
trilogy. I think you're about to go off and direct actually Blade Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
And the comic book movie world is in an interesting spot. The Spider-Man movies are going, so those are successful, but we're pre-MCU.
Yeah.
Give me a sense of, like, say, with all that context. So Chris comes to you, and we talked about this a little bit on our last conversation, but give me a little more info on, like, your reaction when he comes to you, what those initial conversations were, and what you thought of what he said to you when he brought this up.
Well, yeah, 8 years prior had been the last Batman film, Batman and Robin, which was, fairly or not, the most kind of maligned of those four films. And there was a perception, well, even when Tim Burton's Batman came out, that was darker and more serious than people had expected. But then the movies progressively got closer and closer and closer to the Adam West version, which was the public's general perception of what Batman was.
Right.
And in the intervening years, it just so happened that I happened to be personal friends with a lot of the people who had attempted to make the next Batman movie. I was friends, I still am friends with these people, but I was friends with Mark Protasevich, who'd written a fifth Batman movie that was supposed to be the next Schumacher film. Right. And we had talked about that.
Oh, I remember that one.
Friends with Boaz Yakin.
It's supposed to have Scarecrow and Harley Quinn.
I think a Batman Beyond script. And I was friends
Beyond script.
With Andrew Kevin Walker, who had written a Batman Superman. And so I was kind of sitting on the sidelines every once in a while, having a meal with these guys, hearing about these next Batman films that had all stalled. And I think at one point there was even an attempt to do an R-rated Aronofsky in year one.
Yep, there was that one too. That was going to have Joaquin Phoenix.
I was just
starring,
sitting here and kind of on the sidelines watching all these Batman movies get developed and then, fall into development hell. And I just had assumed, I'd heard that Chris might be developing a new Batman movie, and And I remember telling my agent, well, it's never going to get made. It's just, it's just
brilliant
stuff.
writers. These are like no slouches. The people you're talking about are like A-list
none
writers.
of those guys could get it made, and these other filmmakers, and it's just sort of mired in all this stuff.
Yeah.
And but the thing that and the irony too is that it appears that Batman was a consolation prize for Chris rather, that because he'd been developing Troy, and then at some point Troy was shifted away and given to
Wolfgang.
I think it was Wolfgang
Peterson. Yeah,
and
who was also making a Batman
and I think
Superman
Wolfgang Peterson had been developing Batman Superman.
Yeah.
So I think they did a swap, and that was meant to be the consolation prize, I guess. And Chris
Crazy.
was not Chris Nolan at the time, so
Yeah.
I thought he was immensely talented, and I knew him a bit socially, but I didn't think it would be successful or it would get off the ground. And the thing that I hadn't counted on was the pressure within Warner Brothers to get a new one going finally. And that B, the acknowledgement, and this is a rare opportunity when this happens within Hollywood and Warner Brothers, that Batman was broken. that something drastic
damn it.
had to be done, something different. And so it was sort of like the right time, the right place, because when we came in, what we were pitching was the exact opposite of Batman and Robin.
Rounded
But the conditions were right for Warner Brothers to be open to that at the time.
Yep.
And when Chris first approached me, I said I was too busy, and secretly I didn't think it would get off the ground. And I remember I was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we had a long conversation, an hour and a half. He said, well, hypothetically, and I spitballed a lot of ideas, and I think I mentioned the Scarecrow and Raj Al Ghul, and I was in particular, I really wanted, I just thought that one should use some villains that hadn't been used before to also signal to the world.
No Joker, as in no
that
Joker.
We were doing something different. And so I remember going down the list of villains for Chris that I thought were still sort of tier A villains, but that hadn't been used, and the ones that were interesting and whatnot. And I said
that took Catwoman and Joker off the table because they were just they've been mined so well.
All of them, because I just said we have to do something different.
Yeah.
And then I said, but I don't want to do it. And so incredibly, this kid who had dreamed of doing all this stuff, I passed on it. What was it? And then, I don't know, it feels like 3 or 4 weeks later, Chris talked to some other people, and then he called back and he said, I've talked to some other people, and I really feel it should be you working with me on this. And I was, really flattered, and we ended up working on it together. He already wanted to do an origin story, and we were both intrigued with everyone had seen versions of Joe Chill killing the parents and then the bat crashing through the window. But no one had seen, well, how did he get all those skills? And even Frank Miller's
That's
Year
why
One
it's so great.
Starts with him returning to Gotham City, having been away for a year or two.
Yes.
And it doesn't really talk about what happened during that period of time. So the other thing that's really interesting when you're adapting something that's very well known, whether it be a comic book or a novel, is narrative gaps.
Yes,
are really enticing, because that a narrative gap is an opportunity to do something really interesting.
There you go. So you have that. And then we got this right here. The controversial that always shows up every 7 weeks on the timeline, Batman killing. I knew that was going to happen. I was like, there's going to be an ad.
Wow. Our cats just love great customer
All right, here we go.
service.
controversy. Was there a big debate about whether, like, how responsible he should be? Does Batman kill? Does he let him die? Like, what that kind of discussion was for Ra's al Ghul on that train?
Yeah, I remember that, Chris and I had gone to New York for a few days and met with the editorial board of DC Comics, and outlined our plans and said, in your opinion, what are the kind of stations of the cross that we should hit for a good Batman story, and what are the things that we really should not do? And one of them was have him use a gun, and I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure one of them was that he shouldn't directly kill someone out of revenge.
Directly.
And I don't remember whether or not, forgive me, this was 23 years ago, that was also a concern on Warner Brothers' part, but it felt like that was the way we arrived at that was kind of like the right massaging morally of how to do it.
I won't kill you, but I won't
to be
have
continued
to
on Man of Steel, which would become a whole other thing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So the final...
Man of freaking Steel. And then we're going to jump to Blade because, the first Blade movie was written by David S. Goyer, which is a great Blade movie. It's a classic, iconic Blade movie. So, like, what the fuck is going on with the MCU Blade movie?
Early access, autograph merch, all sorts of cool stuff. Talked about Blade recently. Like, what where are you at?
I'm pretty much still not in the comic book place. I mean,
That's good. You did a lot. It's okay. Do original shit.
I'm an executive producer of Murderbot, which is out right now, and Foundation coming back on July 11th, and Sandman, which is comic book, coming out July 3rd. But I think that's probably it. I've got a new project that I'll be going to market with next month. It is not comic book. It's still genre, but not comic book. But look, I go back and forth all the time on social media. I see, they should have Goyer do the new Blade. They should have Goyer do the Blade. Part of me thinks it would be fun, but part of me thinks I did so far the definitive Blade, and it's a mistake. I don't remember Chris advising me not to work on the Affleck Batman, just because it's it's confusing. We did one. Just stick with that.
Yeah.
Chris told him not to work on Batfleck? Uh-oh.
I mean, we were talking about Blade a couple years back. This is like the most plagued, this is so, I don't know why they can't crack this. This is insane.
I don't either, because in my mind, I think Blade is a relatively simple story. It's not complicated.
No.
And I always think about when you embark on a movie like this, you have to distill down what is the promise of the movie, right? So the promise of Blade, a new Blade, is that it should have insane ass kicking. It should be pretty scary, might be R-rated, and it doesn't have to be. It should not be complicated.
No,
it should be a simple story. So I don't know why it's been so hard. I have no idea why. I'm baffled. I've sat on the sidelines, and Mahershala Ali's an amazing actor. I don't know why.
I mean, kudos to him for sticking through all these different iterations. He's obviously devoted to this character. He wants to make it work. But I almost wonder if, Wesley stopped showing up and being such a crowd pleaser, and Deadpool Wolverine almost complicated it. They're like, wait a second. They still love Wesley. What do we...
and I thought that was cool too. But it's confusing. Yeah. Also, if you're trying to do another one, it may have been just an acknowledgement that we can't crack it right now. I have no idea. I haven't been involved in the conversations.
All good.
lot there unpacked, and I love that. I love that he said that, because it shouldn't be that complicated. I think a lot of us could see that. But then he dropped that little nugget of thing of saying that Christopher Nolan said, don't work on the new Batman. You already worked on one. That's going to get confusing. And that's not Christopher Nolan just being like, no. I actually understand what he was actually talking about, I think, in a sense of the fact that when you see Batman, even though it kind of doesn't make sense, but I guess it makes sense if you're thinking like how the mastermind that is Christopher Nolan and being like, no, we can't sell that. You are very much there. Your name is there when it comes to Batman Begins and Dark Knight and the whole trilogy right there. So, you know, you got the new Batman, which everybody loves this Batman, and we got the new Batman. Just don't work on that one, which is interesting because he did write the first script for Batman vs. Superman. And, of course, that got tossed out when Terrio came in. And, you know, Terrio he didn't really like it that much because it wasn't Terrio's speed. And from what I gathered, my information when it came to that Batman vs. Superman script was, yes, it was different. It was a lot more action, a lot less political. I mean, that's the thing. That some, you know, when it comes to all these online disputes and everything is, well, the first Batman vs. Superman was not going to, the first script and the first, what they were actually going to think about shooting with, you know, they had concept art of Metallo and everything like that. It was going to be a lot more action. It was not going to be the Batman vs. Superman that we got. Thankfully, we did get that because, honestly, you know, Batman vs. Superman is one of my all-time favorite CBMs, so I'm glad that it did get changed to more of a political thriller and not just, hey, action, 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 this craziness, that craziness. I'm glad that's the case, but it is kind of funny that Christopher Nolan told him that. But yeah, Jesus Christ, Marvel Studios, why can't you do a Blade movie? Holy Lord. Holy Lord. Anyways, okay, I think that's it. That's pretty much it when it comes to all that. Now we got Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, and I'm sure you guys saw this. Let's see, did I mess this up? No, it's right here. Okay, so if you guys saw this little promo, so Fantastic Four released a new promo when it comes to Little Caesars. That's right, pizza. And if you're going to get a pizza, don't get Little Caesars. No, you can get Little Caesars. There's nothing wrong with Little Caesars. Little Caesar's been around since I was a kid. It's good yeah, if you want like really good pizza, go to a fucking, you know, local mom and pop shop or something. Go to a family-owned business, get their pizza. Yeah, you're going to spend like twice as more or 3 times as much, but you're going to get a good pizza. You're supporting a local business. Do that. But hey, if you're just like by yourself, you want to get yourself a little pizza, go to Little Caesars. But here's the promo right here that everybody was talking about.
We at Little Caesars know all the Fantastic Four deserve a fantastic pizza. So we delivered. It's one pizza with 4 different topping combinations. So there's something for the whole team.
What the F? Who is that?
Topping, not a topping. See Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four First Steps, only in theaters.
What? Look at that. Who's that guy, huh? Jeez. You got everybody right there. So you can actually get yourself a pizza that has 4 different toppings. Which, you know what? That looks kind of good. Not going to lie. It always looks good in the promo, right? But naturally, what they were trying to capture right here is, what the hell is this thing's called? I forgot what this creature is called. But I saw this image right here. The very first Fantastic Four cover is this creature right here. It starts with a G. I can't remember what it's called. So if you guys know what it is, say it in the chat. But that's what they're trying to show. So this is like a big Easter egg. It's a big Easter egg that is facing off this big, huge creature right here. And all I can think about is the goddamn pizza. But that's what they were going for. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. But there was a lot of people going, wait a minute. Is this part of the movie or is this just actually the promo? See, I thought it was part of the movie and I was kind of going, that's cool, looks weird, but still cool that it's a big, huge Easter egg and they're basing it off the very first episode, or very first issue of Fantastic Four. And I thought, okay, I like that. So is that part of the movie? And apparently, especially when you see like the Fantastic Four run in there, you go, oh yeah, this is definitely not. That's why it looks weird, because the visual effects aren't that top notch. So I don't think that's actually, maybe part of it is actually going to be in the movie for like a cool little Easter egg. Maybe there's going to be like a montage of the Fantastic Four just like doing Fantastic Four things. And you do see that creature. So they have that little Easter egg, which, yeah, it's really cool. I thought that was really cool and good marketing. Again, Little Caesars. And their pretzel crust pizza, Tony, yeah. I remember getting that. Thing's pretty damn good. All right, enough of that. Now let's go over and who's going to the movies this weekend, huh? We got 2 movies. We got 2 movies that are happening this weekend. So I don't know which one you guys are seeing. I'm definitely not seeing Elio. No. Elio. I'm not seeing the Pixar movie, even though it's Pixar, and usually Pixar's pretty good. But the box office is going to be interesting to see, because we had How to Train Your Dragon last weekend, which did pretty good numbers and almost made $300 million worldwide. Now we got this Pixar movie, and we'll see if this actually puts more butts in the seats. But we also got 28 Years Later. And that's a movie I'm seeing tomorrow at 5:30, I believe. So let's go ahead and check out the Devil Fruit site and see what some of these critics are saying. We're going to start off with Elio. 28 weeks later. Yeah, I always get it confused. Whatever. So it's currently at an 86% right now. Catapulted by the theme of building self-esteem, Pixar's latest cosmic wonder Elio boasts a fanciful world of original creations to a dazzling effect. So it's doing pretty good. As you can see, just a bunch of good reviews right here. Has all the makings of an animated Hollywood classic, but remains far too torn between divergent concepts to reach these heights. The result is decently fun and occasionally meaningful, but it could have been so much more. On face value, this is a fun kid adventure in space. However, beneath the vibrant visuals and engaging plot lies a story on loneliness, isolation, and the importance of embracing what makes an individual unique. Pixar strikes again with a sweet movie about a boy who meets the aliens of his dreams. All right, let's look at one of the bad ones right here. Elio doesn't follow Pixar's usual narrative, failing to forge a coherent connection to the studio's defining theme of exploring the human condition. Instead, the story leaps into a visually dazzling, kinetic sci-fi fantasy that feels exhaustingly hollow. Okay, so it's still getting good reviews, and I'm just kind of wondering, is this going to put butts in the seats? Because, Lilo and Stitch, Minecraft, those movies, I just wonder if this one is actually going to bring people out. It's going to be interesting. But now we have 28 Years Later. And this movie, oh man, I cannot wait for this. And currently right now with 85 reviews, it is certified fresh at 95%. 28 Years Later taps into contemporary anxieties with a ferocious urgency of someone infected with rage virus, delivering a haunting and visceral thrill ride that defies expectations. Oh yeah, this movie. Oh man, look at that. I mean, there's one bad review. We'll read it, but that's it too. So the deeply emotional elements, which work not because of zombie activities, but in spite of them, are perhaps the most rewarding surprises in this largely satisfying follow-up. Tense for almost its entire runtime, and yet sensitive as well. This is a horror high for the year, but more importantly, justifies bringing back a franchise 28 years later. Not only is 28 Years Later worth the wait, but the story benefits from the lengthy gap between installments. It delivers big with rage virus-sparked tension and action, but also takes an unexpected turn that's staggeringly refreshing and effective. Yes, a great zombie series refuses to die. Boyle has delivered a film that doesn't just extend the franchise, but deepens it. 28 Years Later is thrilling, terrifying, heartbreaking, and above all, human. As a zombie horror movie, 28 Years Later should rank among the best. It's got plenty of harrowing and brutal action, but has its most powerful impact in telling the story about the troubled family at the center of the film. All right, let's look at that one bad one. Emma from Loud and Clear. For all the possible directions this narrative could have taken, you can't help but wonder why this is the one the filmmakers landed on. So she didn't like where it went. Okay, but everybody else raving about it. And I've seen internet reactions, people saying it's like, this is not just the best horror movie of the year, but one of the best movies of the year. And I'm going, hell yeah, Danny Boyle, you're doing it again. That's the thing. And people are saying because usually sometimes legacy sequels that, legacy sequels. It's very much a legacy sequel because it's been a couple decades. It's just the fact that it's like, okay, yeah, but this works. This works. Like, they're coming back with a bang. And not to mention, we're supposed to get 2 more movies after this. So if this buzz puts butts in the seats, it justifies... Well, I think they already have the second one done, right? If I'm not mistaken. But, man, cannot wait. Cannot wait. I heard 28 years later has naked zombies. Well, it damn well should. What's wrong with naked zombies? Why would a zombie be wearing clothes? Okay? Jeez, if I lived in a zombie world and that was, apocalypse, I'd be naked too. Why would I? Well, who cares about wearing clothes? Just saying. Yeah, we're going to have to see zombie dongs. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. All right. And then last, but certainly not least, is T'Challa finally being recast? That's been like a topic of controversy, even though it shouldn't be controversy, but I understand why it's controversy, because I'm kind of going like, okay. Yeah, I understand that Chadwick Boseman was just like, he was a saint, and he died too soon, and it's sad how he went out. And he should be having Academy Awards. He was just a fine actor, and he was doing a lot of things, even behind the scenes, charity stuff. He did a lot of things, and it sucks that we only got one actual Black Panther movie. Obviously, he showed up in Infinity War and Civil War. So, he showed up in the other movies and he rocked it. He was a scene stealer and everything. He got his own movie and made $1 billion. We loved it. But then, of course, sadly, he passes away. And then instead of recasting, they just go, well, let's just continue it and we'll pass the torch and we'll do this whole thing. And Wakanda Forever, it's not a bad movie, but it was trying to do too much to try to, I guess, I don't know, to try to just, to try to heal the wound of Chadwick Boseman dying, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work as well because it's forgettable. Like, I've only seen it once. Like, I had no really intention to watch it again. I was like, yeah, it's good. The opening with the funeral and how it all, yeah, that all worked out. But it's just, I don't know. It just, for me, it didn't work. But, so what we have here, it's kind of interesting because it's like, okay, so if somebody's going to if someone's going to actually be cast as T'Challa, if there's actually going to be someone that can actually do it. I mean, I don't know who would do it. They probably, again, they would have to get like a no name. And this is this actor right here who's going to be in the F1 movie. This is Damson Idris, who is in the F1 movie. And when he was interviewed, I think it was on Today, this is what he had to say when they asked him about it.
There's some speculation out there in the universe that you could be cast as the next Black Panther. Have you had any conversations about that? Yes or no?
Seems pretty excited. Yes, no.
By the way, the yes, no means yes.
Could mean no.
No, probably means yes. If they asked, would you say yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I could see it. Can you see it? I could see it. Dude's got the look. So he said yes, no. And then, of course, he was like, oh, yeah, of course they would. But it's just like, okay, yes. I think it's time to be like, hey, because even Chadwick Boseman's brother said, yeah, Chadwick would have said recast. So, yes, recast. Now you got this young upcoming actor that could very well take that role, and I'm going, okay, I don't think I've seen him in anything yet, but I plan on seeing F1, and from what I gathered, that movie is getting rave reviews right now, so yeah, seems like even when he got talked about it, he went like that, so they should recast, and maybe this guy, Damson is going to, Mr. Idris right here is going to be the new Black Panther, new T'Challa. And maybe they'll figure out a way to explain it. Could be a multiverse thing. I don't know. Who knows? All right. They recast William Hurt with zero hesitation. Yeah. Well, William Hurt, not quite the same. I know he's like a classic, kind of actor, but he's also had some bad things, some bad press when it comes to certain things. And looking at the time, guys, I'm not going to have time to do a members-only stream. You know, Fanimated is going to be happening in like 22 minutes, so I don't really have anything to really say extra, so we'll go ahead and cancel the members-only stream. Sorry, I talked way too much. I forgot about the David Goyer thing. You know, it happened, so I apologize, guys. And I want to get to your questions right here when it comes to Twitter, so let's go ahead and jump over here. Eric, yeah, I'm kind of glad David Goyer doesn't do characters he's already tackled as a writer. I'd wager it'd be incredibly difficult to successfully get into the mindset of writing Batman Blade again, but doing a very different take so it doesn't come off as the same version, but not. Yeah, I agree. Versus Seed. Dave, do you think the DC movie Gunn canceled was Constantine 2? It could be that too. Yeah, some people were suspecting that Constantine 2, also because we heard that Keanu Reeves was not happy with the script, so very well could have been that as well. And then Kenny, Dave, Melissa Benoist, the former Supergirl from DC TV, is excited for Superman and Supergirl in the DCU. Love it and love her always. Yeah, of course, she's going to be excited.
Girl, we hold you in such high regards, and of course, this is the summer of Superman. Yeah. Is that on your radar?
Yeah, of course I'll support.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
I mean, once you've donned the glyph, you're a part of like a very small club of people that has worn capes, so it always feels special when any iteration of the story and the canon comes to life. So I will be there to support.
Truth and justice always prevail.
Is Millie Alcock supposed to be in this James Gunn? I don't know. I'm more excited for her telling of Supergirl. Just, but I'm biased.
Thank you so
much. Love it. Melissa Benoist, she is quite beautiful. Anyways, Davey, I'm super excited. Yep, I know you're excited, Kenny. 100%. I hope one day Zack Snyder and James Gunn will sit down one day and interview each other just so we can watch all the comic book Twitter burn down to the ground. That would be insane if that were to happen. If they sat down and were joking around and all the things. Devin Wooter, hello Dave. If Marvel and DC do a crossover movie, do you think that movie will reach $2 billion? I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess it would have potential, of course. Do you think people will show up to watch the movie? And I'm sorry, Dave, but Zack Snyder, I think you meant cult, are so annoying. I wish they could go away and let people watch Superman. Just ignore them. Don't worry. I mean, yeah, they could be loud, but what can he do, you know? Joshua G, Dylan G, hey Dave, as someone who likes both Marvel and DC and excited for both F4 and Superman, I honestly have a feeling DC is going to take the top spot from Marvel with the general audience and the box office. I'm starting to think that that's actually going to be the case too. I don't know why they consider this probable spam, but Dave, what are your top 5 80s action films? That's a difficult one. I mean, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Predator, the first Terminator, obviously. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what other ones. Do I have anything that's behind me now? Just I already said Die Hard. I mean, Ghostbusters is not an action film. Trying to think of some of the other ones. Yeah, it's just off the top of my head right there. But yeah, bring me the Vaseline. You're crazy. But anyways, so. But yeah, I don't know. The closer we get, I'm kind of going, man, I wasn't sure. I don't know. July is just going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy month for sure. But we're going to see what happens. Beverly Hills Cop, yeah, that was also a good one too. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But yeah, since this ran a little too long, I'm going to have to cancel the members only stream. Apologize for that, but you know. Love you guys for supporting, being a member. Arkham Knight 99, I'm going to call you Mr. $2. Mr. $2 right here. That's right. We got Mr. $2. Appreciate the $2, Mr. $2. I'll keep on calling you Mr. $2 if you always spend $2. Yeah, there's also 48 hours as well, so. Why is somebody saying lots of baby oil? You guys, D-man, you're weird. Anyways, hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We said Scott and I will be talking about Batman Beyond in about 15 minutes, which is why I'm not going to do a members-only stream, because streams are just colliding. So, but if I don't see you guys over there, I'll see you guys. Look forward to my 28 years later first reaction review tomorrow. That'll be posted tomorrow, and then I'll see you guys on Friday with the Vodka stream. And we have a returning guest, of course, that's going to be showing back up, so that'll be a lot of fun. All right, guys, love ya, and I'll talk to you later.